Hi everyone. Good morning on a Sunday morning. So I think you're all excited for today's session. Thanks for joining on behalf of UVC Graduates Association. I thank the speakers and all the participants. As mentioned, Unnathi is a new initiative from UVC Graduates Association that we started a few months back, majorly focusing on the higher education opportunities. There are a lot of questions. The students would always want to know, okay, what opportunities do we have? How do we, take it forward? How do I choose? So there would generally be a lot of questions. So what we thought was, okay, let's do one thing. We will have the interaction between the alumni and students directly in this online format, so that they can interact with them and interact with the people who actually gone through the course, instead of reaching out them in the social media and through other means. This would have been at least there would be a start. That's the whole purpose. So what we thought was, okay, let's start it off in an online format, because people who are in abroad, even they can help, and people who will not be able to attend physically, they'll anyway be able to join this. So this is why we started Unnathi, and we have this is the fourth iteration of Unnathi. Again, welcome everyone for today's session. So let me begin by introducing to our speakers, the panel for today. As you all know, the today's session is focused on distance learning. So many of you would want to know, how, if I cannot, attend any course full time, what are the different options available, and how can I go about it? So today's focus will be that. So there are two speakers for today's session. So first is Vakar. So let me add him first. So Vakar is Assistant Vice President at ESAF Bank. Currently, he's in Thrissur, Kerala. He completed his MBA from the Sikkim Manipal University, and he is a 2011 UVCE alumnus. So welcome, Vakar, to you. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then the second speaker for today is, let me add her to the spotlight, Meghashree. She is currently a senior data engineer at Tiger Analytics. She completed her MTech from Pilani. She's 2016 UVCE batch alumnus. So thanks, Megha. Thanks for joining in today. More than me introducing them, what we will do is we'll go to each of them, ask them to give a little bit more details about themselves, and that will help in making sure that they can explain a little bit more about whatever their experiences are. So let's begin with you, Vakar. You can give a brief introduction about this.
Sure. So very good morning to all, and thanks Satish for that quick introduction and giving the opportunity to address the students, especially the thing which I've already have experience in distance education. So I am Wakar Yunas. I graduated from UVC in 2011 with electronics and communication specialization. So I basically hail from Lingdalli, which is one of the small villages in Chikmagalur district of Karnataka. So what I'll do, I'll just try to put some fun stories in between about the journey what I had so far through UVC and over the past few years in my career. So please be interactive and use the chat box as much as possible to to post your queries, or if you like it something, you can post agree. If you like something, put CC, clap. So let it be interactive. Okay, so the first thing, how I choose UVC, it was very funny thing. I chose UVC because it was the first college in the CET brochure. That is one thing, and second was it was in the center of the city. I thought, in that days, if I take a college where I can, if it is in the center of the city, I can explore in and out of Bangalore. But going forward, it turned out to be one of the wisest decision I made in terms of education and placement. As you all know, our college is well known for placements. So generally, everyone will be having at least one offer in hand before even they graduate. So I had the privilege of three colleges. I mean, like say three companies by the end of my graduation. I chose Canara Bank out of the three. Two were MNCs. You know how Indian parents they want you to be, especially most of the Indian parents they want you to be join some government job or get into some public sector bank. So that is one of the reason I chose Canara Bank. So you might be thinking how an engineering student work in banking sector. So it was about banking IT domain. So I started my career with Canara Bank as a project coordinator, helping project managers working in various banking products. It was hard because when I started my career with Canara Bank, I had to work with the colleagues who had more experience than my age at that time. So it was tough, but I got to learn many things. You know, and when I started my career, many of my friends were moving to different parts of the country and different parts of the world to do their higher education, especially MTech, MS, and MBA. But that time, I never had anything in my mind that study further. I just wanted to like start earning, clear my education loan, start supporting my family, and be independent. That was the only things I had it in mind. So, but somewhere in my mind, I always had the aspiration of pursuing MBA because, being, an engineering student, we will be having the technical knowledge and technical background, but, having management skill is also, very essential. If you want to be, like a good leader or a team leader, you should know, technical how, and then how do you manage things? How do you, manage situations? So that's why I thought of doing MBA going forward. After a couple of years, I thought I'll do MBA, but I don't wanted to quit the job, to be frank. It was a hard earned job. It was not easily got how I got it. So it was tough. So the only way out was for me to like look for some universities who offered distance education. So I did a quick research in the market. I found out there are some some universities who offered distance education. So top three during that time were Sikkim Manipal University, Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNU, and Anna University from Madras. So these were the three. So out of the three, I chose Sikkim Manipal University because they had offline classroom and weekend sessions. So that was pretty well falling into my work schedule. Before that, I had to balance work life, but adding this, so I had to balance these three: work, life, studies. So I had to juggle between all these. So yeah, in 2014, I started my MBA journey through Sikkim Manipal University, and I completed in next 2 years the project management specialization. So yeah, that gave me a lot of cutting advantage in my career path. So subsequently, I got promoted as a project manager, where I started working on various banking domains, payment gateways, ATM switches, and alternate delivery channels like mobile banking, internet banking, and many other digital banking products. You name it, like you use a lot of all these services these days through alternate channels. I don't think so. Most of us don't go to branches nowadays. We do everything sitting at home. So yes, after 11 long years of association with the Canara Bank, so I thought of looking. I mean, like I thought of moving out because I wanted to get more like looking after like various opportunities, where I can use my expertise and experience. So that's why I moved out of Canara Bank, and right now I work for ESAF Bank as assistant vice president, looking after various digital products and platforms. So that's all about me, Satish. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks for the quick intro, Vakar. Nice to know a bit about that. We will have like say successive questions and more detailed discussion in the next couple few minutes. But before that, Megha, you can go and give an introduction, please.
Yes. Yes, surely. I think I definitely side with Vakar when he said I didn't want to quit. That is one of the reasons I chose to have distance learning in my option. So I am Meghashree. Good morning, everyone. So I completed my engineering in information science and technology in 2016. So I think, like mentioned, placements were really good. I had a really good offer from Mindtree right after college, and I joined Mindtree. So for about 2 years, I worked with Mindtree, and I had a really good growth there. My growth in Mindtree was really good. I was primarily working as a Java developer, but I got into big data. The minute I got into big data, it is huge. So you had a lot of opportunities, and a lot of things to learn. And the place I was in, I did have an idea wherein I wanted to take up higher education, but I'd never thought about it, and I didn't want to quit. The place I was in Mindtree was pretty good, and I wanted to continue that. So that's why I chose distance learning. So, I mean, side by side, there were hundreds of things going on, like, volunteering for college or taking care of things at home. So I felt distance learning would be a good option. And I did some research from my side. I remember talking to a couple of people, and, I found BITS as a very viable option. Firstly, because their curriculum was pretty diverse and something that I wanted, and I wanted to pursue my higher education in pretty much the same stream as in my engineering. So I'd done in information science my engineering. So I wanted to do MTech in probably software systems, pretty much in the same line of my work, so that it would really be advantageous at work as well. So that's where I started, and it was a 2 year course. Pretty much started in 2018, and then I graduated by 2020. And after that, I think, yes, pretty work wise, I was able to handle it. Uh, the course that I taken up, or the strenuous kind of exams that they have, it is pretty manageable for someone who is working, and trying to take up a course. So after that, I continued my work. I currently am working at Tiger Analytics as a senior big data engineer. So yes, there's that's my introduction.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Megha. So we'll do one thing. Okay, maybe yeah. So to everyone who's there in the call, what I would like to add here is, so if you see, the biggest thing that we kind of discuss now and what we are talking today is, irrespective of which like line you want to go, if it's MTech or MBA or anything, there are options. But first you need to know, like say, whether you are inclined towards that or not. That is the biggest thing. So what we will do is, like say, we have few questions that we got in the RSVP forms, the registration forms. Okay, so a couple of them repeated and etc. So what we'll do is, before taking up the questions from the live audience here, because this will be generic questions which everyone would be thinking of. So what I would want to do is, I want to, like say, cover those first, and then open up the questions for the audience. Okay, so the first and the foremost question is definitely distance learning. How relevant are those degrees, irrespective of the college or university? And will it be considered in the same lines as the full time degree holders by companies? Like, say, someone is putting their full time in MTech or MBA in some university, and someone is doing distance learning. So, like say, how will the companies treat it? Is what is the generic concern first thing. So maybe Vakar, if you want to take this first,
Yeah.
yeah, please.
Sure, Satish. It's very much relevant in my in my case. This is obviously this is one of the most common question asked by many of my friends and my colleagues. Firstly, let me clear one thing. So distance education courses are considered as full-time courses. So make sure that the university you are going to choose, those are accredited and they are recognized. So there are two instances where, I could prove that, these are recognized. The first instance is when I started applying for Canadian PR visa. So I had to undergo certain, transcripts approval and other things. So my MBA from Sikkim and Manipal University was considered as a full-time course, and as I said, I had pursued it from the recognized university. So that is one thing. The second thing is that, after, I got my, engineer, MBA in project management, uh, even I got elevated in my organization. I was working as a project coordinator. Then, when I went for interview in public sector banks, what happens? You don't, usually get promotion with the appraisals. You have to do your self appraisal, and you have to you have to write the exam, and then you have to attend the interviews. So during the interview, it gave me cutting edge where I could tell that I have done masters in project management. So what employers, they don't ask you, from where you have done the master's degree or whatever degree you are going to have. So they only ask or assess you basis on the knowledge and skill set you are going to bring to them. So make sure that the university where you are going to study is recognized and accredited, and have all the skill sets which is required to to go for the next level of education, or to attend an interview. So that's how you're gauged. So don't worry about full-time course or part-time course.
Yeah, yeah. Megha, would you want to add something?
Yes, yes. So, like, I mean, for me, when I had to choose bits, I understood that I had spoken to, I think, a colleague of mine in Mindtree who'd also done her MTech from bits. It was a recognized university, and one of the advantages I had in bits was the degree certificate that they provided never mentioned anything as a distant learning or a part-time course, or a correspondence course. They said it is a full-time MTech course that you've completed. So that was a very good advantage. And also, the company wise, at least because I was in the big data stream, this did provide me a good backing in terms of data analytics course. But also at the same time, it was a very challenging thing that I'd taken up already. I mean, I was already in a project, and I took this up along with it. And so that way, for me, as a learning, it was something that I was challenging myself, saying I can pick something up, do it, as well as having a full-time job. So that was important. And how it is recognized by the company is generally, sometimes the company only supports your learning. They provide some incentive that you can use to take up for your higher education. Sometimes the company doesn't want to do anything with your higher education. So it depends upon the company, and if you're in the former where your company is supporting, for sure, take it up. There'll be some clauses regarding how you'll have to pay, and you'll have to stay in the company for that much amount of time. But if your company is not supporting it, it is also an advantage. You can just do it liberally, and just challenge yourself, learn something out of it, and again, at the end of it, you have an extra degree with you which you can take forward in your resume. So that's something that's an added advantage, in your career.
Okay, okay, sure. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, just one thing. So if you're not able to enroll for full-time courses, due to various reasons,
Yeah,
you should have either supporting system. You should have financially like sounding, or else you have to have some support. Like you, even if you're having the willingness, you should have all the support. But don't just worry about all those things. Just break the barriers and pursue whatever you want to do. So ultimately, as I said, you are gauged by, your level of knowledge, not by having a degree from some fancy university. So
yeah,
if you get a chance, yes, definitely go do it. If you don't give up.
yeah, yeah. Understood. Yeah. So thanks. So the next general question was, like say, uh, if I'm confused, if as a student, if I'm confused on, like say, which stream or which course I should, like say, select, then how do you suggest that we kind of move forward with it? What are the things that I can do as an individual to make sure that, like say, okay, this is how you select a course? So, Megha, would you want to take that up?
Yes. So with respect to how I would want to select a course is, I think most of the universities have a really good website and a brochure with respect to every course that they provide. So first thing is understand what you want to study. That's a very important thing because there are so many different courses out there. You look at everything and you're like, okay, I want to take this up. I want to take this up. You can easily get swayed by that. So just before you even enter and do your research, first you understand what you want to study. Okay, I want to do an MBA. I want to do a MTech. I want to take it up in a data analytics field, or I just want to learn something that from engineering I want to do a plus one of that. So depending upon what you have, the clear picture in your head, then you go ahead and research universities, and then you download their brochures, and then you go through that. If you, I mean, there'd be generally easily in UVC, you can find a lot of your alumni who are already in those universities, or your friends. You talk to them, you ask them how is the course material, what is the weightage that the university has in terms of relevance to a state of the art material provided for the course. So I think that is a very important thing, research and talking to people, understanding what you mainly want. Easily, I mean, it's like a shopping spree. You go, you want to do all the course, you might not, you will just be overwhelmed by how much that there is out there opportunities. So just, yeah, that is an important thing. What you need to have a clear picture in your head what you want to take up and do enough research. That's pretty good.
Okay. Okay. So, Vakar?
Yeah, adding to like what Megha said, my personal advice would be to be choose the course basis on your current expertise, specialization or work domain, so that you can excel the further, or else what you will have to start from the scratch. So basically plan your career path well in advance, so that you don't need to change or tweak going forward. So keep things clear about yourself, what you're going to do, which course you're going to take. So when I started to do my MBA through distance learning, so I had multiple options, just like how Megha said, you'll be having tens of options, hundreds of options. But my expertise was project management. So I also wanted to do in international business, but that would have been like starting from the scratch. So which I don't wanted to do. I wanted to factor my previous experience also. So I chose MBA in project management, and yeah, that's how it worked pretty well for me. So that's what I can say. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Understood. Yeah. Thank you. So basically, like say people, like say how you select your engineering, like say stream. Maybe you don't want to do that when you are thinking of higher studies, because you're already in a particular stream. You would have been working somewhere based on your, like say, work environment. What is your role, etc.
Yeah.
You can, like say, based on your expertise where you want to move ahead, it is better you select according to that. So
Right.
that's what, like, say, both of them are suggesting. So something that maybe everyone in the audience want to note about, because that is generally how a lot of people ask. Forget about, like, say, a distance learning course, but even people when they want to do an online certification or some online course, they always come back to us and ask, how do I select a course? So it's the same thing that applies there. So sure. So the next question would definitely be about the curriculum. Okay. Of course, you would have seen in multiple colleges and etc. But is there a difference in the course when you consider, let's say, full-time course in the college where you attend the classes and when you are taking the distance learning? Is there a difference between the curriculum, or like say how do they manage that is the general question about specifically about curriculum. So maybe from your personal experience, I know it will be difficult if I ask you randomly about some other course and some other part, but it would really be nice if you can just share the curriculum part for your specific stream that you selected. I think Megha, you might have to take that.
Okay, yes. So see, with respect to the curriculum or how different it is from regular, MTech or a regular course that you're taking up is, first of all, the you have a lot of space when it comes to distance learning. or a online course or a correspondence course. Space, I mean to say, is generally they do have contact classes where it is over the weekend you have to go attend classes, one or two subjects, you have teachers from the university come and teach. So contact classes are one thing, but mostly it's online. So and they have the classes over the weekend, because they understand we are working individuals. It would not be possible for us to attend weekday classes. So it's generally on the weekend, and it's also one or two classes on a Saturday, and one or two classes on a Sunday. So that way you have a lot of space and time that you can utilize in taking up a course. And with respect to the curriculum also, it's more, you have more freedom to choose what you want to read. With respect to electives that are provided, if you want to have a particular specialization within the MTech course or the course that you've picked up, you have that opportunity to say, I want to do this specialization, I will pick this elective, I will learn on this elective. And even from the organization, you have enough support. They provide you recorded lectures, they provide you live lectures. In some universities you have contact classes, like I mentioned. So that way, there is no and enough study material at the end of the day is provided to you, pretty much like in engineering, right? You are independently going through so many textbooks, and you're learning something on your own, you're taking up the exam. So that kind of liberal freedom or the opportunities provided in a course with respect to the curriculum. And even the electives that you pick, you can my specialization was data analytics. I had to I think over the 3 semesters that I had taken up, I had to complete about 16 credits. So that was about 4 or 5 courses that related to data analytics that I had to pick up, which at the end of the course certified me as a data analytics specialized individual. So that is something that I wanted to take up, data analytics as a course. So that was an advantage. So you have a lot of opportunities within the same course that you've picked up. You just see what is helpful for your career, for in terms of what you're currently doing. And if this is an advantage, take it up for sure. You have that freedom, you have enough time. uh, it is not a rushed course at all. They understand it, they design it in a way that working individuals are not stressed by it. They are challenged by it, but and they can accommodate it with their working schedule. That is how they design the courses. So yeah, that is about the curriculum that at least I had taken up with BITS.
Yeah, Vakar, maybe you missed it. It's just
Yeah.
about the curriculum part is what, like say, we were talking about. How would you, like say the curriculum from a full-time course to, like say, the distance learning? Is there any difference? Is what, like say, that the general concern is?
Uh, no, Satish, I did not find, much difference, in terms of curriculum. So it was more or less a full-time degree curriculum only. So the only thing is that, as Megha said, it is designed, to make sure that, working professionals are, able to, understand the concepts, and they will also be in a better position to, like complete the course. Just don't, what I would say, just don't limit for the syllabus, whatever is given. So the best, one of the best advantage, doing this distance education is that, so while working, you will be, studying. So you can, start applying whatever you're studying in your work area, and it is more like, practical thing you are going to do. So then you get to know more about the things, and you can easily crack the exams, and you can easily, understand the concept in depth. So yes, so that is one thing. Best part of studying while you're working is that you can collaborate with multiple people who are already working in different companies and organizations. So and adding to that, there are 5 perks, studying online. So one is that you can enjoy your studies from your couch in your favorite pajamas. I know the application process is 1,000 times easier. I gone through, like previous sessions, where people have done GI, I mean, like, doing done their, masters from various universities. So the application process was,
Yeah.
comparatively very hard and tough to get through. So,
Yeah.
but this is 1,000 times easier. Okay,
Yeah.
keep this in mind. And third is, you get to meet people that you don't normally get to know. So especially veterans from different industries. So you can build the network over there. And the fourth is diploma. A degree is a degree, no matter where you study from. Okay, and so you get to practice some skills that a campus degree won't. When you start doing it, you realize all these. So
Yeah. Understood. One last question from the RSVP before, like say, we kind of jump to the chat questions. So people, this is the one last question, and then we'll open it up for your questions also. So in the chat, if anyone has any specific questions or any queries, feel free to start putting it up. So we will take that up once this last major query is done, which is a repetitive one. That's what I'm trying to say here. So one of the first, the questions that definitely come to is the time management. Because say you're already mentioned, like say you're already balancing the work life kind of a thing. You're having like say work pressure. Sometimes you'll have to like say even work during the odd hours in the companies. They expect that because they're paying salary and etc. At the same time, when you have to add something one more to the entire basket, doesn't it like say spill out? Because the major question is when we are looking in the college, we always like say study for full time. We have like say internals, exams, etc. So only we focused on that. But now, along with that, you also have something in your work that you have to deliver the deadlines. You have to meet the deadlines and complete some deliverables. So, kind of, how do you balance this? Is the one of the like say a general question which
yeah.
anyone would come up with. So, Vakar, would you want to take this
Yeah,
first?
yeah, definitely. I would like to, talk about this. So I'll start with this, like one sentence that, my mentors used to tell. If you fail to plan, then, you start planning to fail. So basically, you have to have the plan. So you have to have the plan well and make sure your work and studies both are not affected. So if if you fully focus on work, so you will not be able to focus on studies. If you fully focus on studies, the other way. So best way to do is the know your schedule, how you are engaged with your work. So that is where you're already engaged, and look after the universities while doing the research, where you can attend the classes without compromising on your work schedule and pressure. So I had the option of weekend and weekday classes, but I chose weekend classes because weekday classes will be very hectic because you work the entire day, and coming back and studying, I mean, like attending the classes and studying further will be very difficult. So if you have the choice, take the weekends, and also you get weekdays time, whenever once you attend the weekend classes, you can utilize that weekday 1 or 2 hours of time, for studying whatever you attended the weekend classes. So that's how you can plan. So it's all about planning, so that you can manage your work life balance along with the study what you're going to add up.
Yeah, yeah. Megha, would you want to add something?
Mm. Yes, that's true. Definitely true. Like you said, um, planning is very important, and you would be surprised, when you plan properly, saying that you actually have the time. You stay focused throughout your week, finish your work, maybe on weekends, sit for a couple of hours, and you will be able to make time. You have that in your mind, saying, I want to complete this course. I've taken it up. It's a commitment from my side. See, unlike your engineering, you have some amount of support. Your parents are just looking at you every day saying, are you studying or not? But here it's something that you've taken up, so you have to have that. You'll have to own it up, saying, I've taken it up, I will strive hard and I will complete it, and you will be able to make it up. Um, it's just about good planning, and just be dedicated to the fact that you are taking up a course apart from your work. You want to complete it. And one other thing is, at least in my case, what I did is, if I had an exam coming up, I would take about 1 or 2 days off from work. I would give a prior notice at work saying, listen, in 2 weeks I have an exam, I'll not be available for 2 days. they would be okay with it, and I would study during extensive study during those 2 days, right before the exam. But the meantime, I would focus on, maybe if I have some free time, assignments will be there, quizzes will be there that you'll have to take up. Here and there, midterms are going to be there. Somehow managing that within your work, it is how you decide and how you plan. Whatever is flexible for you, the course is there for it. To give you that flexibility, you take it up. That is
Yeah.
what.
So with this, what do? You become a good, managers, like, because you are handling multiple things at a time. So, working, studying, balancing your life. So you definitely, you learn a lot of skills.
Yeah, so basically, like say, the juggling around becomes a little bit more, like say, you get used to it. When you juggle around, you know that, okay, I have a time. How do I make best use of the time? Is will always be on the top of your mind. Yeah, so that is like say at a very a brief, whatever the generic questions that we had. So let's say again, just before again to everyone, if there are any specific questions, you can put it up in the chat. And like say, you see, we understand that like say the students, maybe you might still be considering your like say options. So now this is the time when you are thinking about higher education. If you are at all considering that, then this is the like say time to start considering that, okay, should I do a full time, should I do a like say distance learning, what are all the pros and cons? Any questions that you have, feel free to put it up and we will definitely try to answer. So what I will do right now is again just a small pitch in here. So the Unnati, again, as I mentioned earlier, is a UVC Graduates Association initiative that we started like say a few months back. This is the fourth session of that. So what we are trying to do here is not only the students, but also the recent graduates, the recent pass outs of the students, make the best use of the alumni community that we have. See, we have 107 years of history. So you just imagine, like say, where all our alumni are, right? So you will, like say, any place that you go, you will definitely be able to find someone from UVCE. It is that easy. Like say, we also did this Lalbagh meetup few months ago. We were just like say around, I think, I don't know, 40, 50 people. And because couple of us were wearing UVC t-shirts, randomly some two people just came and asked, oh, you're from UVC, I'm from UVC. It's as simple as that. So if that is happening in a general place, assume what it will be in a work environment. It can be like say public domain, it can be banking, as like say Vakar said, it can be software, it can be manufacturing, or it can be even other colleges. You will be able to find like say the alumni there. So make the best use of it is what we are trying to say. Okay. So what I will do right now is just pause the recording for a couple of minutes, because we'll take the question and answers from the chat, and then like say we will continue the recording. Okay, just bear me with 1 minute. Yeah. So what I would want to do now is, just since we finished the like say major part of the questions in the chat, and we're also almost at the end of the like say session now. Just before we wrap up, what I would want to do is like say give like say maybe 2 minutes to each of you, and ask your final like say suggestions or inputs to anyone who is considering this, or like say even if they want to like say think about it. What are your like say personal suggestions or inputs to them? So Vakar, would you want to go ahead first?
So you want me to, like, talk about in general, like how?
Yeah, in general, we just, because we're coming to the end, we just wanted to
Yeah.
like wrap up the final like say part, what you would want to say.
Yeah, I covered, I think, most of the part throughout our conversation. So just don't have the differentiation of full-time course or distance education. So both are similar. The only difference is that you are not going to a college, or you're not doing it full time. So you are gaining the same amount of knowledge what other people are getting. So there is one analogy I want to keep. Say you want to travel to some destination. So you go to a bus station and you wanted to travel in Mercedes or Volvo bus, and you missed it. So do you stop? Do you stop going to the destination? No, you take the next bus available. Maybe not Volvo, something else. Say a red bus in Karnataka. So you take that bus, and you reach the same destination. It may take the delay of couple of hours, but you reach the destination. So that is what matters, and you get a lot of experience and a lot of opportunities while while you're working and studying. So you get a lot of experience. You get to meet new people, network with them who are already veterans in their field. So these are all the added advantage when you do it. So again, I'm reiterating, so don't limit yourself thinking that I could not do full-time course from Oxford, Stanford, Sydney, blah blah blah. Okay. just do just do. If you want to do masters, if you want to upskill, go for it, no matter what. So you're gauged by your knowledge once again. Okay.
Sure. Megha?
Yes, absolutely resonate with whatever you said, Vakar. For sure. See, there are so many advantages, and I wouldn't want to list down any downsides of it, because you're not taking a break from your work at the end of the day. You're learning something new, you're challenging yourself, you're meeting new people. You will learn how to manage internals and your studies along with your work. uh, at the end of it, you have so much to take away from the program in terms of, you will be surprised saying I actually committed to something for 2 years and I completed it. And one main aspect is the monetary part of it, which probably is convenient for you because you are already a working individual. You have to pay up for the course, so the course is, again, it's not going to be so heavy on your pocket. It is something that you will be able to afford along with your work, and how you're managing your day-to-day life. So that is an advantage again as well. And you can definitely have some support system that can keep track of your course, so that you complete it in 2 years. That's very important, because it's a distance education. Sometimes you will feel like, okay, what, let me take a break for 1 semester and then get back on course and finish it up. It also has that liberal way of, some people take 2-3 years to complete the a 1 year course, an example. So have some support system, and you will be able to clear it. And yeah, at the end of it, the satisfaction of completing something on your own, whilst working, is really good.
Okay. Okay. So I think we're almost at the end. We reached, like say, the 1 hour time now. So what I would want to say is to all the participants first. See, these sessions are majorly, like say, we organize it because we want to make sure that you get to the maximum benefit out of the alumni community, the alumni network that we have. That is the whole idea of this platform. We want to, like say, whatever the experiences they already have, when they share it, you can make the best of it. So please make sure that you tell your friends and etc. We will be uploading this video to the YouTube, as I told earlier. That is definitely there. But what happens is that's always in the back burner. You always think, okay, let me just finish off this movie and then let me see this video. That is how our mind works. The procrastination never stops. So that is why you have to attend the sessions when it is happening, so that you grasp the maximum out of it. You make the best use of it. So please tell your friends, and going forward also you can ask the questions. Like say, it's a very interactive one even today. Thanks for all the people who asked the questions on the chat. We'll make sure that even in the future we will be, like say, having more such speakers who will come and share their experience with you, so that if any of the concerns, any of the queries that you have, we will try to address them. Apart from the higher education, the other ones also, any other concerns or queries that were there, we will try to make sure that we'll have some sessions, some initiative for that, wherein we can talk and discuss about that. Okay. So we will, yeah, sure, we will, like say, work on the UPSC part. That is one of the things that is there in our mind. Someone who is actually aspiring or studying, or someone who has actually completed that, we want to get them and we want to have a session on that. We will do that definitely. So with that, thanks to first to the participants for joining, and then mainly to our speakers, both Vakar and Megha, for joining us on a Sunday morning. I know you'd have different commitments, you would have different, like say, work and etc. on a Sunday. But in spite of that, in spite of the schedule, you joined today's session and shared it with the participants. Thank you on behalf of UVC Graduates Association. We will definitely keep in touch. We will add your, like say, LinkedIn part in the YouTube, so that if any students would want to, like say, connect with you and ask any specific query, they should be able to do that.
Yeah. So, like participant, students, they can pretty well, be in touch through LinkedIn. So I'll be more than happy to, like be in touch and guide further whatever the things may be related to distance education or anything in that matter in terms of their career plan, future plan for their education. Uh, yeah, thank you so much, Satish, for giving this opportunity. So definitely, I would like to be engaged with the UVCEGA. There's a called Kannadiga, like that UVCEGA, UVCEGA. So that like sounds pretty good. So thanks for all the opportunity, and thank you, Megha, for being such a nice co-speaker. Uh, yeah, that's all from my side, guys. So before wrapping up, I just want to know like tell one thing. So from the like it's Henry Ford has said this: anyone who stops learning is old, whether you are at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. So choice is yours to stay young by learning or just die in the competition.
Thank you. Thanks, Megha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Have a nice
Bye.
day.